up there, staring intently at the camera. Mary, Marcus, and Kev. These are all returning players this time. We have no new guys for this one. And I'm Blage. I'm the GM. I'm running this show, or at least I'd like to think so. And we're going back to the world of Beyond the Bridge. So how's my 4 days since I last spoke to the internet been? I played a game of Dark Heresy on Sunday. That's fun. Didn't get to attack many things and kill things. I instead engaged in elegant banquets. I think that would be the right way to say it. Working. Ooh. Had sweet chili spaghetti with chicken. That was nice. Rained. It rained today. It was interesting. I think that's about it. Not much interesting happening in my world. Job goes on. The weather goes on. Okay, so moving on. Entai, what you been up to in the week?
Well, my army in Mountain Blade Warband has been doing quite well. Slaying people. I also started watching a new anime that's about a person that obsesses over slaying octopuses. So it could basically be an hentai.
Wait, he obsesses over slaying?
Yeah, slaying octopuses.
As in killing them?
Yeah.
Okay. It's normal.
Yeah. That's all.
What's this anime called?
Gargantia.
And how much are they sponsoring you?
How many viewers do you have?
2.
Alright. Half a cent, maybe.
So how's the weather for you? You're an English as well, aren't you?
No, I'm Swedish.
Swedish? Ah, damn. See, I'll get this eventually. So you're a Swedish as well, aren't you?
What?
How's the weather in Sweden?
Sweden. I don't go outside.
So, nice and warm. Got it.
Yes.
Anything else?
Not really.
Okay. So, Mary, how's it been going with you? The kids back at school yet?
Actually, last week was a winter holiday, so it's been very, very nice and calm. I'm also from Sweden, so I can tell you that it's been very, very cold and very sunny where I'm at. Otherwise, it's been nice and calm.
Watched any good movies or TV series lately?
Not really, no. Unfortunately not.
Any interesting anecdotes in the last 2 weeks?
No. Nothing.
Fair enough. Okay, well, we'll move along. I can tell. So, Marcus, from the first session, are you looking forward to romping around in Beyond the Bridge and perhaps getting something done?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to the actual quest this time.
Nah, everyone knows travel is 4/4 of the fun. It's all of the fun. Just silence. Okay. So how's it been?
Not fun at all.
Yeah, I've just been studying, so nothing exciting.
No fun games.
No fun games.
No fun TV.
Well, I'm watching the new season of Supernatural.
There's a new season of Supernatural with the Kane brothers. Not
It's
Dean
still going.
Winchester brothers.
It's still ongoing. Yes.
I thought that season ended 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't realize it kept going.
At this point, they've both been to hell and lots.
Yeah,
of
they've died multiple
unnecessarily
times.
long.
Well, that would explain the memes I've been seeing on 9gag, where it's just those two and going, "Oh, we've died so many times." Something. I thought they were just referring to the episode where Groundhog Days, and they just die like in loops.
No, they've literally both died and gone to hell and then come back. It's
separately or together.
Separately.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that that's still going, I suppose. I don't think I'm going to go back and rewatch it.
No.
Watch Gargantia instead.
Been in any other games of D&D in the meantime?
No, I haven't.
And remind us what you're studying for?
Well, it's the step before university. We've been through this before. It's not anything specific.
Ah, okay. It's just lots of studying. Okay, okay. Moving on. So, Kev, second session.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going
Yes.
wonderfully. I have had a
Wow.
cup
Yeah.
of coffee, and I'm slowly waking up. It's the best.
Last time I played, I think it was my second game of D&D. Since then, I've played about 30 something games. And I've also I've GM'd about 11 games for a separate campaign. The last campaign that I ran, it was literally someone made an offhand joke, and I went and turned it into an encounter. It's basically they're making the joke that, you know how veteran adventurers like punk new adventurers by telling them all about, like, oh, you've got to look out for these blink bears, you know, they'll kill you and all that stuff. And you know, blink bears aren't real things, but I just thought, let's make an encounter where you go after to tell a druid to stop selling medicinal herbs in town, and when you get there he gets angry and burns his crops, and you guys inhale the fumes, and then you start getting attacked by blink bears. And then I made it so that you couldn't kill the blink bear because it's obviously it's not real, and the party ends up TPKing and then waking up and going, huh, what happened?
That amuses me greatly. Were the players similarly amused by this encounter?
Yeah, no, they were at the same time laughing and at the same time panicking because they didn't know if like it was real or not. But I thought like giving the blink bears panda tokens would like clue them in that this wasn't real. But they were still very emotionally invested. They were panicking and running and trying all sorts of maneuvers to get away.
Just reminds me of there's a bit in The Witcher 3. Anyone currently playing their way through The Witcher 3?
I've watched some people play it, yeah.
Okay. There's a bit in that where you fight bears that are hallucinations, and I was like, I know the hallucinations. I know it. And you get to the end of the fight, and you're just like, oh, they were hallucinations. I'm like, I knew it. Why? But like, I bet you if I hadn't fought them, the game would have just gone game over. I wonder if there is something if you just stand there and let them kill you, or if they even can. Ah well. So you're a D&D veteran now, then, Kev.
Experience. I've got to, you know, that level 4 or 5 where you're no longer one-shot killed by random mobs.
Well, you need to have better random mobs. Not one hitting a level 5 character. I think we need to put some ancient red dragons into the tables. Okay, then. Well, have you been up to anything other than D&D in the last 2 months? How's the weather going?
XCOM 2.
Oh.
XCOM 2.
Yes.
Hours of XCOM 2.
I hang my head in shame because my D&D prep has been falling a bit behind because of XCOM. I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, Iron Man, and it's just killing me so hard. Just
No, I can't handle that. I'm only playing on
I can't
experience.
handle it, so I'm just punishing myself. I'm not winning. I'm just losing slower each time. It's terrible. Oh, but it's really good. It's really good. So, you got any squad mates you're attached to? It would be a shame if they died.
I have one who I count as the protagonist, and the rest of them are just expendable.
Righteous.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to D&D related things. So, the intro for Beyond the Bridge. The adventurers have all travelled west and arrived in Haven. These are all adventurers who have been out into the wilderness before and are returning for a second time. So, to the east there's an empire. It's big and tyrannical, bureaucratic, boring and dull. No adventure to be found. And they exile all the dissidents, all the rebels, all the free thinkers over the bridge and forget about them. But recently, Haven, a small colony, has been booming. Folk have been leaving to this wild wilderness of their own free will, setting up farms and hopefully prospering. Well, maybe a bit more now that the bandits have been defeated. But I don't know what the but is. I didn't have a follow-up to that sentence. But anyway, I think I've done the intro for Beyond the Bridge enough now. It's Beyond the Bridge. We're in Haven. So, Carson Foley, if you would please introduce your character.
Well, I'm playing a warlock. I will not do the fine reading again because the yoke has worn off my saddle. Maybe next time I accidentally grab someone's penis. I'm playing a warlock that has a dark red mustache that swirls around and a goatee, backslicked hair, and typical black cultic robes.
Okie dokie. And Mary?
I'm playing a human fighter, Lynn Ora, and she is focused on protection. Last time I played together, or Lynn adventured together with Carson, and so far she thinks he's useful, but a bit suspect.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
Probably
getting thrown
very
out of
accurate.
the shrine or whatever we were, yeah, and having
The-
a panel
the chapel,
aimed at
yes.
you. Yeah, chapel.
Okie dokes.
That and almost siding with the cultists as well. That was a bit shady.
Details.
What about the actions Carson's did to the cultist's body?
Worse, yes.
They were already dead. No forest
Okay.
desecrating their heathenous symbols.
And you wear chainmail. You use a
Yep.
warhammer, was it?
Warhammer and
shield?
shield.
Okay. And character, brown hair, blue eyes, green eyes.
Yep.
Okay. And Marcus, I think you have an interesting description to give us for yours.
Yes,
seem
I
to
do.
recall.
I'm playing a tiefling paladin, so I'm walking around a big red guy, shining golden eyes, wearing a holy symbol around his neck.
Horns, cloven feet.
Yeah, I do have horns and also a tail.
The tail tucks in, or is it like swishing in the air?
It's quite thick tail.
Ah, so it's more like a reptilian tail than like the little thing with the pointy bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who,
and you're also
who are you
armored.
following?
Oh, if you'd asked me the first session, I'd remember it. I did decide and I did write it down somewhere. But I'll see if I can find this.
And
Just continue.
okay, so in the meantime, Kev, could you intro your character?
Sure. My character's been on here before. I'm playing Ilana Serenov. She's a human female with dark hair and black eyes. Well, at the moment it's dark hair and black eyes. But yes, she's dressed in scale mail and she's holding a shield while she carries with her a shield with the holy symbol of Algun, the Lord of like knowledge, emblazoned on the front. On her chest, she wears like a little plaque that reads cleric with a misshapen I and C. Misshapen L and C. The last two words, anyway.
I and C.
Yes. Anyway. Yeah. And I think the last time I was on with Carson, and he bought a chicken,
Yes,
and
I did.
it got cooked in the middle of the night, and he fondled someone, and then we went and killed some bandits. They were bandits, okay?
You went and killed some
Whatever you
innocent
say.
people. Yeah.
Whatever
were fine
excuse
gentlemen.
Fits your needs.
They were technically bandits.
Yeah. And
Technically
I'm
bandits,
following
best thought.
Tritherion, the god of individuality, liberty, retribution, and self-defense.
Say that again.
Tritherion. god of-
Tritherion?
Tritherion.
Tritherion. Excellent. So, since we last saw you all, what have you all been doing in Haven? And we'll start with longest to earliest. So, Marcus, what has Drock been doing in the 2 months that he's been chilling in Haven?
Drock has been walking around town gathering followers.
It seems a popular action. It's
Everyone has
amusing.
devious plans.
It's amusing since it's the one that offers the least short-term reward and an unspecified long-term reward, but everyone seems to go for it. Okay, so
Interesting.
did you perform any heroic deed last session? No. So if you
no.
could just roll a d20 plus your level plus your charisma -2.
Damn it. How do I roll again?
/R space 1d20 plus whatever. Okay, with a 2, no one has listened to you. In fact, they shun you. Your burning golden eyes cause those who would listen to your words to shy away in fear, and the good that you do for the folk is ignored. And they just kind of walk on the other side of the street, give you the stink eye. How do you cope with this?
I think I don't know. I just go to shadier places to see if anyone's willing to follow me.
So you start what?
Dark alleys.
So you start
dark corners
skulking
of
between
gyms.
the buildings and walking
Yeah.
around. Unfortunately, Haven is a small, bustling colony, with big fields outside it and not that many cramped spaces inside. And you find little dark alleyways to sit in. And the militia come along and shoo you away, like some kind of pest. So, Kev, what has Alana been doing in the just under 2 months since we last saw her in Beyond the Ridge?
I think Alana has spent this time going around teaching various villagers and townsfolk how to read and write, since it is a medieval setting, and that seems like something that not many people would know how to do.
Seems good. So are you charging for your services? Or are you trying to adhere the goodwill?
Well, I think... Well, peasants themselves aren't known to have that much gold, so I think in exchange she's exchanging her goods and her services for rations, or goods in terms of rations. Yeah.
So you're going for hard work and you're wanting to get rations out of it.
Yes.
Cool.
That's
roll
right.
a d6. Cool. So that's 2 gold. So that would be 4 rations, 4 days worth of iron rations. And they've fed you and clothed you and kept you in warm beds over the 2 months that you've been bombing around. But you've managed to squirrel away a couple of the dry rations that are good for venturing forth. And then there would be Mary. What has Lynn Aura been doing in the 2 weeks? 3 weeks? How long is it since we
Something
last
like that, maybe 3 weeks.
It's actually a month in game time since you were last on.
Okay.
It's the 24th of February in game at the moment, and you were last on in the 28th of Jan.
Okay. She has begun to see that there are a lot of dangers around the town, and while the militia is doing some of the job, she thinks that we'll need more fighters in the long run. So she's started to try to recruit people that can help defend the town.
Okay, so you would be gathering support to form some sort of trained militia, standing army.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So if you want to roll a d20, did you do anything heroic last time? Last time
depends
you were
on your definition.
Last time you reclaimed records, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe that was a heroic action. No.
Oh?
I seem to remember a group returning and being like, "Woohoo! We did a thing." But unfortunately, no +5 for you. So d20 plus your level, which is 2, plus your charisma mod, -2, because you currently have no supporters.
No, so +2, and then just -2.
Yep, and your charisma.
So, yeah, that's 0.
Okay, so it's just a d20
so
for you.
D20. Yep.
Okay, with a 6, unfortunately, you wander around, and people are like beginning to, be like, oh yeah, we need to stand up for ourselves and fight. And then, like a week ago, all the support just vanished when Carlos brigands ceased to be a problem. And the heroes came back into town, and then everyone was flocking to the tavern to drink raucously. And you just found yourself with all these people that had been like paying attention and listening just desert, and they go, oh, the problem's over, and you're just like so short-sighted, but.
You will all regret this, I'm afraid.
You'll regret this! Speaking of regretting this, Carson and Harley, what perchance have you been doing in the week or two since you were last?
I have been drunkenly preaching at the tavern.
Okay, and you have 2 supporters, don't you?
Yes.
With an additional one for free if you perform gather support, because you had the farmer.
Yes, and I didn't commit a heroic action last time, but someone convinced the Tom that we did.
That was with, you were in the group that fought and killed Olaf, and then Heavy Jesus playing.
Yeah, Heavy Jesus, Joestos.
Brother Lauren?
Yeah.
Was it Brother Lauren who was like, oh yeah? Or was it Joe's Toes?
I don't know who preached it, but I know someone did.
I think it was Brother Lauren. Joe's Toes is Robin. Yeah, it was Brother Lauren. Robin didn't piss off the Ebonwing mercenaries, it was Brother Lauren. Okay, so you do have the +5 for heroic. You have +0 for having 2 supporters, and then add your level and your charisma.
+5, +4, +2. Ha!
22.
Ooh.
Roll a d4. Okay, so you gain 2 supporters, and you also gain an additional 1 from the farmer. You notice that farmer that you saved as he was being dragged along, he is coming along and he's listening to your servants, and he's even buying quite a lot of the drinks for the crowd. And as the people get drunken, they stop thinking that they shouldn't listen to this ridiculous, trivial, moronic speech that you make. But
I worship the truth.
But slowly you manage to gain a couple more that are listening, and as word of your cult is growing, people seem to be more accepting of it. They're like, oh,
It's
you worship the
definitely a
Death
cult.
Eye? Oh, yeah, I think Mike does as well. Oh, must be a new fad. Oh, deities.
Bad, you say? I will have no such words.
But, yes, so you're now at 5 followers, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, you have a positive size modifier now. Okay, so I think that's what everyone was up to in the downtime. Gather support, gather support, gather support, and hard work for food. Okie dokes. Wow, that's terrible. Sorry, I'm just writing stuff down. Okay, so I think the session will, start in the Last Hope, as it always does. So the tavern's a big wooden tavern with a stone circle in the center, which is a fire pit. Somewhere around there's an old man rubbing tables and picking up empty glasses. The sun outside is beginning to rise, and you can see a bunch of burly men wearing these black cloaks with double white slashes down their back, just kind of curled up in a corner, asleep. You can see a couple of them just drinking heavily as the morning crows, and we see that you are Carson and Lynn together at a table. Where are the other 2 of you? Are you also at this table? Or are you just around the bar?
Alana would just be walking up to the bar and seeing that, she's walking in, but she sees Carson and she recognizes Carson because they've been out on an adventure together, and she's kind of going a little bit stir crazy, just hanging around town. So she's going to approach the table and, hey, are you guys up to anything today in particular? Getting out of town?
I'm drinking a good glass of honey mead.
That's it?
Yeah.
No plans to go anywhere?
Maybe. Should we
I think
slay
we should.
Halcora the Wayne, the undead fellow? That would be quite awesome.
I don't know if that's the best plan, but I do want to go back and see if we can do something about it.
We
Those
have, like,
illusions was scary.
you have this like
Well-
flask of healer's holy water, and he's
Well,
undead.
this town is boring me to death, and I've got to get out and do something. So
Elven wine sounds
I'm-
alright too. There's elven wine we can get. Right, Townkeeper?
I beg your pardon?
You wanted to get a flood of elven wine or something with alcohol.
The wiry old man like comes closer and he leans down and he's like, "Oh yes, elven wine, yes, yes."
That's a thing
Oh.
we can do.
Wine does sound very good, but I think we should stick with trying to clear out the evil. That's more important, even though wine. Yes, evil wine,
Hard choice, I
evil.
know.
And when
Clearing out
Drog,
the evil.
Evil, the barman says and walks back behind the bar.
Drog
So,
hearing
um,
up, yeah.
Where's Drock?
Yeah, he hears them speaking about this clearing of evil, and he just walks over to the table and slams his hand down and says, "Let's go.
Who are you?
Clear the evil. That doesn't matter. There's evil to be
Excellent.
fought."
Whatever you wish.
So is the plan to therefore head to Belkane?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Um,
going
assume
by
so,
the chapel first.
pardon?
Going by the chapel first.
By the chapel, okay. So you know a couple things about Belkane. This is just to catch everyone up. There's currently a job, or how would I describe it? A bounty, I suppose, for removing the curse from Belkane. The proclamation reads, "Whatever the cause of the ill curse that rests over the ruins, I wish to see it lifted, if only that the good people of Haven might sleep easy each night. That this accursed shell of former happiness rests a mere stone's throw from my dear Haven is intolerable. Though the devil's children have raised it, it lies in the hands of every man to ensure the safety of our lands. I hereby offer a sum of 100 imperials to whomsoever lifts the enchantment." And that's issued by His Esteemed Grace Truman von Eristoff. But you also know from rumours that make the rounds of town that the Duke is interested in just removing an enchantment, but both the Duke's Seneschal and Templar Damien are seeking further records from Belkane concerning dead men. The Seneschal seeks the court records surrounding Ian, while Templar Damien seeks ancient documents that concern Halkura the Vain. So that's just the talk of town. So as you set your mind to visit Belkane again, and you all stand up, the chairs back across the wooden floor, you kick open the door. You said you wanted to go to the chapel, Lynn?
Yes, please.
Okay. So
I'll go with her.
does everyone go except for Carson?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm
Carson,
going buy a bag of flour.
okay,
Something.
cool.
Similar.
Drop a silver, gain a sack of flour. Okay, so the rest of you all stride into the temple, and you see Templar Damien is not in the main room. So there's just pews leading to the altar, and then the altar which has this clenched fist, and then the door which leads to his private quarters.
Yeah, I've been here before, so I walk up to the private quarters and I knock on it politely, and I ask, Paladin Damien?
Can you make a perception test, please?
Or can I just use my passive 16?
No. Cool. So you hear a clattering of pottery, like a clay bowl or something like that, and then the heavy sound of a person wearing armor moving, and the door opens a crack, and you see Paladin Templar Damien's gaunt face. He's got his blonde hair, kind of sweaty, his blue eyes peering out at you frantically for a moment, and he's got that 9 o'clock shadow that's been there for too long. And he looks at you and goes, "Huh, Alana, And he like opens the door, steps out, and he shields like the room from view as he steps out, and then closes
Right.
it behind him. And he says, "What can I do for you?"
Are you all right? You seem a bit frazzled.
Just busy is all. Very busy. How can I help
see.
you? Please make it quick.
We've been. I point towards Sorry, I forgot the Mari, right? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
gesture
Lynn.
towards Mari and I
Lynn-
say
Lenora
we've
is her
been
character.
Lenora. That we've decided to head to Balkane to see if Balkane to see what afflicts them. And we've heard that you were seeking some ancient records regarding something. Could we have some
Yes.
clarification?
Helcur the Vain is a foul undead that now resides in the deep crypts beneath the church there. But I believe the records of his execution and his trial would still be in the halls of the mayor, if it still stands. Any indication of how he died or what powers he had in life would greatly aid his destruction. For I wish to see his foul unlife extinguished, but
So
the
do
records I have at the moment are unenlightening.
We were trying also to see if we can break the enchantment on the city, and I remember when.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, go. And I remember when we were last there that we saw a desecrated altar. Do you know if it could help to maybe do something about that? And do you have
To
any
reconsecrate
suggestions?
the altar.
And he says, I don't think the altar has anything to do with the foul curse that rests over Valkane.
That is good to know.
Lord Grimaldi came there. It says so in the records, and he gestures at the altar in the Chapel of Haven, and you see like Mary and Carson. You actually recognise.
I'm not there.
Oh yes. So Lynn recognizes the heavy vellum scroll and the small book that you took from the monk, and they're just like on the altar, and you can see that they've been thumbed over quite a lot, and there's like little streaks of like rust where Templar Damien's armor's just been touching the pages over and over again. And he says, Lord Grimaldi came to Belkane moments before its destruction. I think it is no coincidence. They call him the Faebane, a fighter of vile creatures of nature. I believe it is them that are casting this foul enchantment over Belkane. If you can find and destroy their... And he like gestures in the air and he's looking for the word. Destroy their power. Well, I do not know, but surely extinguishing the foul creatures that live within the ruins would end the curse.
Thank you for your help. Before we go, I took also from the person we were to find, your friend, or an amulet, and I show it to him. I took it as a memory.
I seem to remember that you gave it to Templar Damien at the
No,
end of the
no, I
previous
didn't. But I realized that I should have. She has been thinking about this closely.
So Templar Damien, he looks at it and he goes, "Oh, and he like,
and I think you should have it."
He goes, "Yes, yes," and he takes it from you, and he has like a solemn look on his face.
So we turn out of the chapel, I think, unless you have more questions.
I just bid the Templar farewell and luck with whatever he's doing.
Should we ask the Seneschal as well which document he needs?
Do we know if the other two have gone to see the Seneschal, or do they went to do something else?
Drock is there. Only Carson is missing, and you can assume that he is molesting chickens.
Yes, we can assume that.
So, in the meantime, Carson, what are you up to?
I've just bought a bag of flour. But
So,
I'm
Xiaodi the
waiting
merchant,
on the
like,
town center and preach the good word of my God. Well, with a drink in hand, of course.
so Xiaodi the merchant hands over the flour, and you walk out of the
Thank
store
you, my good
in a
sir.
drunken mess. And we cut back to Alana, Lynn, and Drock inside the chapel.
All right.
Templar Damien's
I think-
standing there, and he nods and goes,
I think in which case, I think we should go and see the seneschal. I mean, I heard something about flour from Carson. I'm not sure if he means to batter some chickens for frying or what he's trying to do.
Templar Damien like chuckles, and he goes, if you were visiting Belcame, could you check on the ward that keeps Halkura at bay? From Monk Halbert's writings, I fear that the ward was never meant to be a permanent one. It is powered, it seems, by a font of holy water. And he goes to Lynn. He goes,
And
I gave you a vial of holy water, most pure. I would be very grateful if you could top up the font.
We can certainly do that. And I assume that you have then some other. Will you have more holy water for us later? I understand if you don't have any more now.
He says, unfortunately, I have not yet built a font here. I only have the 2 vials left.
Oh dear. Then certainly we will do that.
And he nods. Cool.
Mm.
So you want to hit up the seneschal?
Yeah.
sure, we head that way, I guess.
Okay.
Another
so,
person that Alana has met.
So Alana, as you're exiting the shrine, the chapel, you see Seneschal Milosh, and he's walking towards the militia barracks. He's wearing his long dark blue robes. He has an angry look on his face, and his hair, which is usually quite neatly kept, you can see it's like halfway through being like slicked back with oil. So half of it's like stuck firmly in place, the other half's like flapping wildly, and he's walking quite quickly.
Okay, I guess we hurry to catch up to him.
Okay. Do you call out?
Yes, I guess I say, sir.
He stops,
Seneschal.
turns around, and you can see he's about to snap and go, "What is it?" But he like sees you and he stops and he goes,
And
Yes?
Alana makes a small bow and says, well met, sir. We're just about to head out towards Balcame. I've heard around town that you were seeking some sort of town records from there.
"Yes." And he like thinks for a moment and goes, "Ian, a man hanged. The records show that he was hung by Belcame law, but the records do not show who performed the hanging, what his actual crime was, or where he was hung, or where his body was buried. It is of some importance, since he was discovered, or at least his remains were, beneath a tree that had been plaguing Giles's farmstead. May the Lord bless his soul."
Ah, yes, I recall hearing of this a couple of months ago.
The records indicate that he killed a family, but not whose, and that the magistrate at the time, and he says the name of the magistrate, which GM will totally remember. Where have I written it down? But he says the name, and I'll find it for you in a moment.
All right.
Will these records be at the town hall, or do you know?
He says, "I believe they will be, yes, if it has not been destroyed."
That's an excellent question. I look towards Lenora, and I say, it sounds to me like the town hall is the place to go.
It sounds so, and maybe if we have the opportunity to go to the church as well and top up the holy seal.
It might, considering the curse and the location and the ruins, it may be a better idea to go to the church first and renew the ward. That may aid us in, I don't know, some kind of protection or just I feel better if the ward was up and running when we went to town hall rather than the other way around.
That sounds reasonable, and I'm sure you have more experience in these matters than I do, as simple fighter.
Can I consult my knowledge of either religion or arcane to see if I mean, he didn't clarify what the ward does he?
The Templar told you that the ward is not meant to be a permanent thing, and that it is powered by a font of holy water.
But it's to seal in.
Without viewing the ward itself, you wouldn't know
Right,
more.
okay,
You know that it's
It
a
just-
seal, and that it's
Right.
keeping a undead creature called Halkura the Vain at bay, but there's not additional information that you could foreseeably gain without viewing the ward directly.
Let's head out anyway, and we will see if anything unforeseen happens,
Okay.
and what our other companions want as well.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Gir Alcibiades is the magistrate. I did in fact write his name down.
Yes, okay, I see.
Excellent.
That's a complicated name.
I wonder if
Oh,
I
yes.
wrote down the name of the.
I'm going to say that Ilana herself is actually doing what I'm doing. RL is she's got a scroll of parchment out and a coolant ink, and she's writing all this down while they're talking.
Excellent. Okie dokes. So, is there any other actions you wish to take in town?
From like the same session in which we explore this region, I captured an eye, right? I filed an eye into a vial.
Did you?
Absolutely.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
It
From
it
what?
was
it the
from.
cultist?
No, it just randomly popped out an eye when someone bashed someone's
yeah.
head in.
We fought some rats, and I think either my
Was it the eye
hammer.
of a rat?
No, but my hammer squashed the skull, or I
Oh,
stepped in
yes,
something, and
it
an
was-
eye popped out, and he took it.
It was the illusion. You were standing amid a pile of corpses, and there were no
Yeah.
corpses. And you hit a corpse that was not viewable, and then eye. Yes, I remember now. The miraculous eye.
So I wish to like get a chain and wear it as a necklace.
So as you're
Excellent.
like at the shop and you're trying to buy a chain, the merchant Xiaodi, he's a big man, 6'6", black leather doublet with the symbol of a bird on it, torn off arms, tattoos all along, same description he always has, and he goes, "A chain! Ah,
Yes.
well, I have a pendant made of ever-burning wood. It would be most great. Surely it will empower whatever artifact you can place within it."
Ever burning wood. That sounds horrible. Will I have a burning necklace around? I don't want to burn down my clothes.
And he produces like a small hollowed out piece of wood, and you can see like it's blackened and charred as though it's been burnt in a hot fire. Yet it doesn't seem to be brittle. And he like shows it to you, and you can see like the little flakes of red in between the cracks. And he's like, "It is fine." And he like holds it out to put it into your hand, and you can feel that it's quite cool to the touch. "For 5 gold pieces, I will give you this and a chain of brass."
I'm too drunk to argue this. Sure, 5 gold it is.
He takes your gold, and you gain a pendant of ever-burning wood on a brass chain. And the eye just goes skloop. And when you put the eye inside the hollowed-out wood, it seems to be staring right back up at you.
Wonderful.
Accusingly.
Xiaodi smiles broadly and goes, "You're of the arcane arts, are you not? Perhaps a stave of ever-burning wood, or a wand?"
A stave of ever burning wood. How much is that?
Oh, 20 gold pieces. It is a
20 gold pieces.
It is
You
a
know what?
craft.
You what?
Great.
Call me impressed. 20 gold pieces. I like you, fellow. Have you heard about the Deaf Eye? She's really interesting.
Of course I have.
She is dedicated to her cause.
The word is on the tongue of every customer I see. 20 gold and you have a deal. And he produces like a 6-foot quarter
No,
staff.
for you, my good fellow, 25 gold.
Excellent. Call it a deal then. And he holds out his hand.
Yeah, I give him 25 gold.
He gives you a quarterstaff. It is of the same kind of thing. It feels really cool to the touch, but it's blackened all along, and you can see it's kind of like charcoal, and it's got like these red like seams in it, where it's like still seems to be slightly burning, but you know it's just a trick of the light, and it seems very hard and sturdy, despite the fact that it is burnt. And he gives it to you and takes the money. He's like, "Good deal, good deal. Have you
deal.
seen the weather outside?" And he shows you the door quickly.
Alright, see you later. You don't happen to have a drink on you?
Pardon?
You don't happen to have a drink? I'm running out.
Oh, of course. And he like snatches up a bottle of beer as he exits, and he puts it in your hand and goes, 5 copper for you.
My
Special
arch,
discount.
good work, thank you. Yeah. Handy 5 copper.
And you gain a bottle of beer. Okay. So is there any other business in town?
No, let's get going.
No. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
go.
So I think we can decide who's navigating, decide the weather, decide who's scouting, and then we'll take a break. So, who's navigating?
Navigating is survival?
Navigating is either athletics, survival, or stealth, depending if you want to travel by the land, if you want to make good time, or if you want to remain out of sight. And then
What is
whoever's
around?
scouting, you want the person with the best stealth and perception. And if you have any things that increase your passive perception, then that's doubly good for scouting, because scouting goes off your passive. Except for when I say make a perception check.
I have a +6 in perception, so I guess I'll be the scout. Although
Okay.
my stealth isn't really that good.
You're in heavy armor, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, medium. Sorry.
Oh. Does it give disadvantage on stealth checks?
Scale mail. Let me check once.
I'll check for you.
Scale mail. Yes.
Probably.
It does.
Yeah. So if you could just give me your stealth modifier, that'll be great.
+2.
Cool. Okay. And then who will be navigating in that case? And will you be navigating using stealth, survival, or athletics? And of note, since the last time you played Marcus and Kev, 3 actions have been added to the travel, which are look for trouble, check for trouble, and avoid trouble for athletics, survival, and stealth, respectively. And they are roll an
Definitely look
encounter
for
and
trouble.
fight it, roll an encounter and fight it, or don't roll an encounter when you otherwise would, or check, roll the encounters, and then you get to see some tracks of what you would have encountered if that was an encounter. Of note, if the stealth one lets you avoid making a roll, not avoid encountering something after you've already rolled and it's encountered. Just so like the stealth one's particularly good for if you're resting for like an hour and you're not taking a long rest overnight. Like if you're taking a short rest and you don't want something to stumble upon you while one of your party members is KO'd, you know. So,
Right.
which one are you choosing, and which one of Carsten, Drock, and Lynn is navigating? And it would make
I
sense
have,
perhaps for Carsten or Lynn, since you've actually travelled there before.
I can't
Yes.
focus while I'm drinking. Lynn,
So,
you do that.
I
+5 for athletics, and let's just get there.
Okie dokies. So, if you could roll a d100 for the weather. Okay. The weather, though chilly on this February morning, is bright. Blue skies up ahead with fluffy little clouds, the dew on the grass. It's all very normal. And if you could roll up an athletics check, and we'll go to commercial. There are no commercials, what am I saying? Well, there probably are. I don't know.
Let's see here.
Cool. 24.
Oh, wow.
I think that nets you either 4 or 5 travel actions. Let's see. 24 is 4. 1 shy
Okay.
of having 5. Okay,
Great.
so you have 4 travel actions to do over the next 3 days, and we'll take a little break here. So, moment of silence as we say goodbye.